What if the truck sitting in your driveway right now is hiding capabilities you have never once touched? Features so cleverly engineered that even dealership technicians forget to mention them during delivery. The GMC Sierra is not just a truck. It is a rolling laboratory of hidden intelligence, and most owners spend years driving it without ever unlocking what it was truly built to do. We are going to change that today, right here, right now, by pulling back the curtain on the secrets buried deep inside one of America's most underestimated machines. Before we go any further, if you love discovering things about vehicles that almost nobody else knows, hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like on this video, and tell us in the comments what you think the most surprising Sierra secret is going to be. You are going to want to stick around because what comes later in this video genuinely shocked us when we first discovered it. The Sierra has been quietly outselling expectations for over 6 decades, and the reasons go far deeper than most automotive journalists ever bother to dig. Every single paragraph in this video contains a revelation, and we are just getting started. Most Sierra owners use their tailgate as a simple hinge door, swinging it open and closed like it is 1987. But here is what almost nobody realizes. Depending on the trim and model year, the MultiPro tailgate hidden inside certain Sierra configurations offers 6 distinct functional positions, transforming what looks like a standard tailgate into a full workstation, a step system, an easy lift counterbalance mechanism, and even a leaning perch for when you are waiting at a job site. The engineering behind this system involved over 4 years of development at GM's Advanced Vehicle Engineering Center in Warren, Michigan. And the easy lift feature alone reduces the effort needed to open the tailgate by more than 90% through a precisely calibrated counterbalance spring built invisibly into the tailgate structure. What makes this even crazier is that the inner gate, the smaller panel that folds down independently, was actually borrowed from concepts originally developed for cargo aircraft loading ramps, adapted and miniaturized for consumer use. Most drivers tap maybe 2 of those 6 positions their entire ownership period, leaving 4 functions completely untouched. And if you think the tailgate is where the engineering surprises end, you have not seen anything yet, because what GMC hid inside the bed itself changes everything. The bed of a Sierra is not just a flat surface made of steel or composite material. Specific Sierra trims come equipped with the Carbon Pro bed, a carbon fiber reinforced composite cargo box that GMC introduced as a first in the full-size truck segment, and the performance data behind it is almost unbelievable. The Carbon Pro bed resists dents and corrosion at a level that traditional steel beds simply cannot match, and in independent drop tests conducted before its commercial launch, it survived repeated impacts from a 100-pound steel ball dropped from over 8 feet in the air without permanent deformation. But here is the detail almost nobody talks about. The carbon fiber in that bed was sourced from the same material family used in aerospace and performance motorsport applications, and it weighs significantly less than the steel alternative, directly improving payload balance and fuel efficiency. If you are finding this information as fascinating as we did when we first researched it, do us a favor and share this video with someone who owns a truck or loves automotive engineering. Subscribe if you have not already, drop a like, leave a comment telling us which feature blew your mind the most, and let us keep going because the next secret is the one that surprises even longtime Sierra loyalists the most. The Sierra's engine lineup has always been respected, but there is a specific engineering trick inside the 5.3-liter Ecotec 3V8 that barely 1 in 20 owners can actually explain when asked directly. The Dynamic Fuel Management System, which GMC introduced as an evolution of active fuel management, can independently deactivate up to 7 of the 8 cylinders in real time depending on driving demand, cycling through 17 different firing patterns in fractions of a second to optimize efficiency without the driver feeling a single thing. The system uses dedicated solenoids and an oil pressure switching network that responds in under 30 milliseconds, faster than a human blink, making it one of the most sophisticated combustion management systems ever placed inside a consumer pickup truck. What happened when GM engineers first tested this system shocked even the internal team. because the computational load required to manage 17 firing patterns in real time required a dedicated processor module separate from the main ECU. A detail GM never heavily marketed despite it representing a genuine technological leap. And while that V8 is silently managing its own cylinder count like a chess grandmaster, the suspension underneath the truck is doing something equally remarkable that most owners have never even thought to investigate. The Sierra's magnetic ride control suspension, available on select trims, uses a fluid inside the shock absorbers that contains iron particles suspended in oil, and when an electrical current passes through that fluid, it stiffens almost instantaneously, giving the suspension the ability to change its character in real time based on road conditions and driver inputs. This technology was originally developed for military and aerospace applications before GM licensed and adapted it for passenger vehicles, and the response time of under 1 millisecond makes it faster than any conventional mechanical suspension adjustment system ever built for a production truck. The GMC Sierra name did not arrive out of nowhere in 1999 when GM formally separated it from the Chevrolet Silverado as its own distinct nameplate. It earned its identity through 6 decades of working-class history that stretches back to the original GMC truck lineage of the early 1960s, a period when American full-size trucks were not status symbols but pure tools built to absorb punishment and keep running. But there is one detail almost nobody talks about in the Sierra's history, which is that during the late 1970s and early 1980s, when the American economy was hammered by fuel crises and the import truck market was beginning to eat into domestic sales, GMC engineers quietly developed durability protocols for their truck powertrains that prioritized longevity over peak performance numbers, a philosophy that still runs through the DNA of every Sierra built today and helps explain why properly maintained examples from that era routinely hit well past 300,000 miles. The Sierra also carries an interesting distinction in terms of customer loyalty data, with GMC repeatedly reporting some of the highest brand repurchase rates in the full-size truck segment, meaning owners who buy a Sierra tend to replace it with another Sierra at rates that rival even the strongest loyalty numbers in the industry. What that loyalty reflects is not just marketing but a lived ownership experience built on the kind of reliability that comes from decades of iterative refinement in real working conditions, from construction sites to ranch roads to highway towing, conditions that expose every weakness an engineer might have missed in a laboratory. The Sierra you drive today is the product of more than 60 years of feedback loops between real owners doing real work and engineers who were actually paying attention to what those owners needed the truck to do differently. And what makes this even crazier is that most of the features we covered today, the intelligent tailgate, the aerospace-grade bed, the engine that manages its own cylinders, the suspension borrowed from military technology, they all exist because GMC spent generations listening to people who used trucks as tools rather than trophies. If you made it all the way to this moment, you are now in the very small percentage of Sierra owners who actually know what they are driving, and that knowledge is worth sharing. Subscribe right now if this is your first time here, like this video so more people can find it, share it with every truck owner and truck lover you know, and drop a comment below telling us which secret feature genuinely surprised you the most because we read every single one, and your next deep dive into the machines most people overlook is already waiting for you.